What is up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you all about the Looper, which shipped with the new software version 4.04. My plan for the next couple of weeks is to slowly release these videos, going really in depth with the new features so that you guys don't have to look at the manual. You can just watch these videos and hopefully understand exactly how to use the features. So yeah, I thought today we'd kick off with Looper because that seems like one of the most popular parts of this release. This feature was really heavily requested and Roland have come through with it, and to be honest I think they've integrated it in a fairly seamless way, so it's really fun to use and there's loads of little things to get into. I'm going to explain them all in this video. Just before I start, don't forget to check out all my links in the description. They keep me funded doing what I'm doing here. I've got my shop, most importantly spvids.com. I sell drum packs, merch and SP accessories on there. If you could check out any of those links, it would be greatly appreciated. Okay, so let's get into Looper. Well, the first thing that we need to do with Looper is actually set up Looper. Basically now the way they've set this up is you can either choose between skip back or Looper. You can't have both at the same time. It's one or the other. You can flick between either one of them whenever you want with this little shortcut. It's really easy. You just hold shift and press the value wheel, and you can see here on my screen it says enable Looper, SBS will reset, which is skip back, and you can just press OK. If you want to go back, you just do exactly the same again. Enable skip back, Looper will reset, OK. So you're going to lose your data if you flip between them, but that's how you do it. So I need to go back into Looper, obviously. And the way you get into Looper is the same way you get into skip back, and that is to press mark. And the first thing I'm going to do is turn this metronome right down like this. Now I can explain everything that's going on this screen. So first off, in the top left hand corner we have measures. There's four options here. We have free, which is a maximum of 16 seconds. You have to manually stop the recording on that one. We have 1 bar, 2 bars and 4 bars, and depending on what BPM you've got set, obviously the time of those varies and it shows you underneath how many seconds they are. I'm going to do 2 bars for this example. I'd probably usually do 4, but 2 is just quicker for this video. Auto trig, on or off, very simple. I think the workflow with it on is a lot easier. What that does is basically means that the device is going to wait to start recording into the Looper when you press a pad. You don't have to press any record buttons or anything like that. Just makes things a little bit easier, I think. Third and final dial, BPM, that's self-explanatory. You just move that dial to whatever BPM you want to record the loop in. There are some alternatives to these dials. If you press shift, you've got your bus routing here, and you've got dry, bus 1, bus 2 and looper. Now you can run the looper to 1 or 2, but you can only do that the first time you make a recording. As soon as you start overdubbing, you have to have this set to looper and you can't have any effects on. I don't know why this is, but it says that in the manual too. That's just the way it is, it's a limitation. So I'm going to leave mine on looper, it just makes things easier for this video. Routing here is really exciting because we've got mix or external in, and basically we can have external devices running into the looper. So that's why I've got my Roland J6 here waiting, because we're going to be using that. So you can change between mix. Mix is basically the SP and external in is an external device. And all you have to do is plug the device in and press external source, and you can record straight into the looper. So really powerful stuff and really fun as well. I'm going to set this to mix at first because I'm going to be recording things from the SP to start the loop off. We've got 2 more settings down here. We've got level, which you can set obviously the level, and feedback. Now I can't quite fully understand what feedback does. I'll try and explain it. I think what it does is affects the volume of what's already been recorded. So if you made a recording and then you made another one on top and your feedback was at 0, you'd only hear the latest thing that got recorded. If you have it set to 100, obviously you'll hear the original recording and the new layer as well. That's how I understand it. I could be wrong. If I am, or if you have a better way of explaining that, please leave it in the comments below, but that is the best I can come up with. I'm going to keep that on 100 because I want everything to be the same volume as it's layering. One final thing, if you hold shift, you can change the volume of the metronome here. So you can change between level and metronome by clicking the value wheel. We'll put that on in a second when I start recording. You can see that the screen says empty because we have no data in a looper at the moment, so that's why that's there. This right hand one changes once you've recorded something, but we'll get into that when that happens. And now we can move on to some of the basic controls. So some of the basic controls that you need to know. Record starts your first recording, your first layer, and then becomes the stop and start button for the looper as well. Resample is used to overdub. Delete is used to just clear out the looper. It's quite a savage delete this, because as soon as you press that, everything out the looper is destroyed. You can't get it back, so be careful using that. We do have an undo and redo feature, which I'll get onto later as well. That involves using shift and pattern select. One final thing as well is copy is also used in this area, and that's how we bounce the loops that we create to pads. So we can do that too. You can do that at any stage and it's super easy, but we'll get onto that a bit later as well. So I think we're all set up there now for doing our first loop. I'm going to go ahead and check my routing, and I've got it on mix, so that's right. And I'm going to turn up my metronome. So you should be hearing that now. And I'm going to head across to bank A, and I'm going to press record. And because I've got auto trig on, you can see now it says record wait. So I can wait for as long as I want now to start the recording. We'll go ahead and record some hi-hats in now. Okay, a little bit loose sounding, quite humanized. We're just about good enough there to continue with that loop. So we've got the hi-hats in, and now what we can start doing is overdubbing. So what I'm going to do for this part is the kicks and the snares on the same recording. So we'll press resample. You can see it says overdub wait now. So I'll wait for the metronome to be right. Okay, and I could have carried on and overdubbing there if I wanted to, but I came out of that area and then I used record to stop the recording as well. If I want to play the recording, like I mentioned before, just hit record again. There you go, it's playing, and stop and play and stop. That's how that record button works once it's done the initial recording. Okay, let's go ahead and I'll show you the undo feature here. So if we hit shift and pattern select, you can see the undo flashed up. If I press play again now, which is record, we're back to just the hi-hats. It's undone everything we did in the last recording. If we want that back again in the loop, just press the same key combination, shift and pattern select, redo, and we'll have it back. Okay, so we can do that every time we make a recording if we want to. So let's say we were happy with that and wanted to put that onto a pad. Let's say we just wanted to make a drum loop. We can hit copy, and then I'm going to go over to bank E, and I'll choose E3. That's the next one that I have available. And there we go, it's done it already. So it's super fast at bouncing to pads. And you can come out of Looper. We can go to this bank and we can press pad 3. That's where we bounced it to. Put it on loop. And there we go. We have that there ready, and we can do whatever we want with that. I'm going to go ahead and delete all those because I don't need them right now. So you can go back into Looper now, and that data will still be retained. So if I press play again, we still have the loop in there, which is great. And I'm going to go ahead and switch to external routing, so ext in. Let's turn on the J6. My external source button is lit, so you should be able to hear this now. There we go. And let's find some nicer chords than that. I don't like this first preset that you always get given. So let's go ahead and overdub those. We'll hit resample again. And we'll hop out of overdub. Okay, so I've turned the J6 off now, we're finished with that, and there we go. We have a loop which is using both things that are inside the SP and things that are outside the SP as well. So we can play that. Cool, and one more thing that I'm going to do, I've got this sub here. I'm not sure if it's in tune, but it doesn't really matter too much for this demo. I'm going to go ahead and add this as well. So we'll go back to mix and we'll do resample again. And we can see overdub, and let's overdub some sub. Now you may be able to hear there that the kick on the loop is getting more and more distorted the more I'm layering, and I think that's because I haven't done a full factory reset since updating to the 4.04 software. I'm hoping that if I do that, it will sort out that issue. It's kind of like a bit of a bug, and a few people have complained about that. Others have said that a full factory reset does fix it, so I need to try that. But yeah, if that doesn't fix it, it could be a bug that Roland needs to fix. But I don't know if you can hear it. I can just hear that there's some clipping now happening on the kick drum. That definitely wasn't there when I made the original drum loop recording, so yeah, not sure why that's happening, but that's the way it is at the moment. We'll just have to ignore that for now. So there we go, I've layered drums, I've layered an external instrument, I've layered sub, and we've got this loop. So let's go ahead and save this to a pad. Let's go copy, and we'll go to E again, E1. So fast how it does that. And we'll come out of the loop area, and we can hear this. And now if you wanted, you could add your 3 and 4 bus back on. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame about the clipping on that kick because that's actually sounding quite nice, but yeah, hopefully, like I say, I can sort that out with a factory reset. And what I might just do now is delete that, and what I would like to do is just show you how you can continuously overdub and just build loops so quickly. So we'll turn the J6 back on. Again, apologies if this is strobing under the camera. Okay, so I'm going to check my routing again. It's on mix for now, which is good. I'm going to turn the metronome back up, and let's get recording. And I'm going to go straight into overdub. And let's get going with this. And now I'm going to switch to external source with my routing. And we're still overdubbing here, so we can get straight into the chords. Back to mix, and we'll do this sub again. That's how quick it can be to build a loop on the fly like that and just keep layering over the top. It's really, really fun. So thanks very much for watching, guys. I hope this video was useful. I hope this gets you well on the way with how to use the looper. I'm sure you're going to have a lot of fun with it. I'll be back doing more in-depth videos about the 4.04 update in the coming days and weeks. Stay tuned for those. But until the next one, keep making beats, and I will see you again very, very soon.